closure we have as a family is that he was eliminated by somebody who managed to sneak into his room and administer in a manner which we cannot tell, and I cannot tell now, easily 8 to 10 ephedrine tablets into his system. That is the only closure. We know that our father was poisoned. How it was done, who did it, how it was conspired is something that I have never been able to piece together. Yeah, suffice to say that it was a conspiracy to eliminate him. Now, up to now, my father doesn't have a debt with anybody. Nobody has sued the family for anything. So my father had no debt. So he had no squabble with anybody. Nobody wanted his land, nobody wanted his cars, nobody wanted anything that belonged to him. My father was not aspiring to be anything more than an advocate and maybe a senator of Makwene. The motive can only have been political, based on the possibility that my father in his time, both in public service and maybe private, had come across very sensitive information. So eliminating my father was just a way of silencing that information. Yeah, a week after my father passed on, we of course, the political wing started looking for all of us. And I'm talking about both sides, because I can tell you that I saw vehicles belonging to Jubilee people here, and the people at the time of court. But when they decided that it was Kathy, I was in that meeting, and they said, we have decided over Kathy because you can't win. And I said, I'm not interested in joining politics, so the question of me winning or losing does not arise at all. My decision is very clear that as I am grieving so much that I'm not interested in politics. And Kathy at the time quipped that the only person who knew about politics, which was the correct statement, was me. So I suspect that these guys weaved their way into my mother, who was persuaded, of course I didn't know all these things, to speak to Kathy, to contest. So I still think that Kathy was bored at the time to have agreed to contest the seat, knowing very well that she had not participated, she didn't know. So she really put herself in such crosshairs. And eventually, when she is barred from joining politics, and it's, say, 90 days later, on that material day, I was seated in my office here, preparing to go to an election petition for this gentleman called Dr. Nu in Bora. So I was going to Mombasa. So we decided, let's watch TV to listen in on the ruling. The minute the ruling was made against her, and they requested for another candidate, I told the gentleman my phone will start ringing in exactly 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And in 15, my parking and boardroom was full of people talking to me to contest. And I can tell you, all my father's friends, the people I considered close family friends, all of them told me, over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, don't contest. Yes. Perhaps they were thinking like I was, that your father has died because of all these political shenanigans. You might be next. So why join? Why don't you just leave this politics to somebody else? But the inspiration is this, and I've never shared this because it's very personal to me. Immediately the case was dismissed by the court, and they sought an alternative. The CID and police were here to arrest my sister. So it occurred to me at the time that was my personal feelings were against joining politics. I've also realized that if I don't join politics, then I would put my sister also in jeopardy. So part of the motivation was that I would be the headlines the following day and not my sister in handcuffs. And to demonstrate that that was a political case, they forgot about that case immediately I joined politics. It really affected her. Yeah. Kathy had built her reputation over time, and reputation is the only currency for an advocate. It's the only thing. The thing that keeps my seniors going, the Oraros, the Caminos going, is reputation. To the sort of barrage I saw against Kathy is something that is easily unforgivable. Yeah, because it was the same people who built her, including media, brought her down with tons and tons of accusations, half of which were false. And I said, I've agreed to join politics, but let's agree on one thing. I'll do this my way, not your way. So since you have not given me a manual of how you conduct politics, allow me to write my own manual. When I went to Serena, you can visit the video of my candidature. I said I have now joined the leadership circles of Kenya and not politics. Because I thought at the time that if I'm just going to join politics, I'd better join politics and make it different. I just can't be like the usual. Otherwise, the sacrifice of, and I can tell you, joining politics has been a big sacrifice to me as a professional. A personal sacrifice to me as a professional and as a family man. And therefore, I was not going to join politics and then make it business as usual. If the intention was to pull Kalonzo to Azimio by pulling the 3 governors, that intention was wrongly crafted, wrongly done, and extreme voodoo. Because that's not the way to do it. If they were attempting to attract Kalonzo to Azimio, the solution is not embarrassing by fronting governors as the pillars of Ukambani. It's a very wrong narrative. To that extent, therefore, Azimio goes to the losing streak in Ukambani straight. I can tell them for free because of the things that they have done. It has not endeared them, it has just caused them to the community to go to the extreme. For me, it bothers my soul and conscience that in 2017, Raila-Kalonzo, Professor Makau, and Kibwana sat in a room. We were not aware. They never told us. They never disclosed, but they entered into an agreement where this agreement is deposited in New York with Professor Makau. So both Raila, Professor Makau and Professor Kibwana are witnesses to an agreement where Raila is supposed to support Kalonzo, irrespective of the outcome of the 2017 election. So my own view is that this group is cobbled up to create default. Because if you're a witness, the person who Kalonzo trusted to sit with him in the meeting cannot be his witness in that agreement. How enforceable in whatever form is that document? You cannot, because Kalonzo has no witness to that agreement. So Kibwana's front line in Azimio can only be, in my view, the conspiracy to that document to never see the light of day or to ever be discussed. Once again, whilst Jimmy Wanjigi in Nyata was throwing spanners into the works, telling Kalonzo, you know what we agreed, you know why we signed that document, tell your people that you signed this agreement, bring it here, give to the members. Kalonzo refused. Again, he has a gentleman's mien. Maybe that's the reason, because of all the disclosures that he made, that he's the one who did it. Maybe perhaps that's the reason he's having all these sorts of problems. Because he in that meeting he denies Raila-Kalonzo and says, this guy used to be my friend. What I see on TV is not Raila.